Hey guys, good morning. Um, got a couple things going on. I spent yesterday in the hospital with a 103.5 fever, and then about 3 o'clock, I went to the fifth floor at the VA hospital and found out that I have a small belly button hernia that's forming. It's not real bad right now, but they want me to try to lose as much weight as I possibly can in the next 30 days because it will make the surgery even easier. So it's I forget what type of hernia they called it, but it's starting right by my belly button, underneath it and right inside it. I can feel like a little knot starting to push out, and then I can push it back in, and it's starting to get sore. And it's been doing it for about 2 weeks now. So I know I got to get that fixed. And the doctor said you need to lose at least 18 pounds in the next month if you can. And he said, whatever you got to do, I'd like to see you do that. So that's my goal now, is over the next 30 days I have to drop at least 18 pounds. um, and he says basically when you get to a certain BMI, your chances are either higher or lower for hernias. And he was like, I want to see you get down at least another 18 pounds before we even attempt to do the surgery. And about 5 years ago, I had hernia surgery done. It was called the hiatal. It was up top, just underneath the rib cage where they come together, and they told me that they were only going to put 3 holes in me, and they were just going to cover that one little area. When I woke up from surgery, I had 8 holes in my belly, and they said they found another spot lower that they were concerned with as well. And they took the mesh from the top and drug it all the way to the bottom where the other spot was, and they said that's why there were so many extra holes. They're thinking that there's some complications with the mesh that they put in, that lower hernia that they saw is now starting to push through, and that mesh isn't really doing its job. So he said that's not good in that situation. Then we have to go in and redo everything that they did, put new mesh in, and he said it's a mess. But if it's a new hernia and the mesh doesn't cover that area, we could just go in there and fix it, and it won't be a big deal. And he said it's a very quick procedure. With mine being as small as it is, I've had a fever now for 3 days. This morning it's down to about 100.9, and I feel like I can actually function. Very hot to the touch, and my joints still ache just a little bit. I thought it was the flu at first, but they stuck that swab up my nose back into my cavity and pulled it out, and within an hour they had it tested, and it tested negative for any kind of flu or contagious matter. I just came on with a fever out of nowhere. Literally, I got off work and my throat started to swell up and started to get sore, and then by the time I got home, I was doing little coughing, spitting stuff up, extreme headache, and then within an hour I had a really bad fever. And when I pulled in the driveway when I got home, the tree that I had been telling my landlord for about 4 months now, 5 months now, is dead. It's gonna fall on something and it's gonna be bad. It actually did split and fall. She didn't do anything about it. She was trying to put it off and put it off because she's been putting so much money into her other properties. It actually did fall. Half of it split and hit the power line and took the power line down on the ground and the main cable line coming into the house. The power line was live, so I called ComEd, and they came out and they looked at everything, and they said you got black tracking marks on the box. When it hit the power line, it broke the electrical pole, pulled it down, and pulled the box away from the house, breaking several components inside the box and snapping the pole where the lines go into. And I said, great, this is the last thing that I need. Here I am getting sick, and I'm going to have to deal with all this nonsense that's going on. And I've been telling her that somebody needs to come cut down this small tree, and now it's going to cost even more money. And sure enough, I had to spend a lot of time outside, which was making the fever worse. It was making the stuff I was spitting up even worse, and I was trying to get inside. Finally, I got in bed, and the guy said, look, we're gonna have to decide whether or not we're gonna leave this power on. And he said it's very dangerous because you've got a live wire running across the ground, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be just an animal touches it, it's gonna sound like a small stick of grenade or dynamite going off, or something falls from a tree, between the power line or the power wire in the house where it's starting to black arc. It could burn the house up. So I really need you to leave and go find another place to stay tonight while I disconnect everything. So then I had to take my generator, hook it up to the sump pump in the house, and make sure that the little crawl space didn't fill up with water, because in my area it's like a flood zone. You have to have a sump pump running almost all the time. It kicks on like every 10 minutes. So anyway, needless to say, I'm starting to recover from all that. Last night she called me at 10 o'clock and said, look, I had my uncle come out. I've been staying at Angie's place for the last 2 days. She said I had my uncle come out and fix the pole, put new pieces and stuff in it, put a new plastic backing plate inside the power box, because they came out and I guess they told her you fixed everything, but there's a crack in the plastic backing, the insulator that goes behind everything in the box, and we're not going to turn the power back on until you fix that as well. So she had to have her uncle take everything back apart again and put a new insulator behind everything and then put it all back together. And finally, last night about 10 o'clock, she messaged me and said, you got power, everything's back up and going, no worries. Hopefully the food that I had in the refrigerator and freezer isn't bad, because everything, I had about probably 30 pounds of meat in the freezer, and I'm hoping that it being frozen in big giant, 5-8 pound packs of meat, that it kept everything pretty cool so it didn't spoil. It's probably no good. I'm probably gonna have to throw it all away. But one little tree caused so much issue for not only me but her. And with me spending yesterday in the hospital with finding out I had the hernia and 103.5 fever at the same time, it's been a nightmare. And then I messaged my boss this morning and said, I'm not really better. I mean, I can come in. I don't really feel that comfortable coming in, but I can come in. I feel like I could possibly work. It's just a fever and swollen glands. So maybe I'll come in and just do what I can and just take it easy. And he told me that one of the other guys is out. One of the other main guys, the diesel guy, is out, and one of the other mechanic's wife is in the hospital, so he's not there either. So he was telling me that he really would like for me to come in if I can, because they're just so short-staffed right now. And with me being off work yesterday and today, I was thinking about taking off work today as well, but I feel like I can work. I just got to take it easy. I just, don't overdo it. My fever went from 103.5 down to, I'm at like 100.7 right now, 100.9, something like that. And over the next month, the surgeon telling me that I got to lose at least, his number was at least 18 pounds in order for him to be happy with doing the surgery. So anyhow, we'll see what happens. We'll go from there and figure out what we need to do. I'm gonna try to take my channel in another direction now as well. I'm not gonna be doing so much just straight keto stuff in general. It's gonna be more of a reviews on restaurants and talking more about meat and the nutrient density in meat and things like that, and not so much about what's happening in the keto space and things of that nature. I'm just not really interested in that anymore. I just find myself not really interested in what the doctors are saying anymore, the nutritionists. I don't really get into the conferences too much anymore. I feel like it's the same stuff over and over and over again. So this channel is going to I'm going to turn it slowly in another direction, real slow, and see if I can't do, within the next 6 months, a full, just completely different type of channel. It's still going to be about nutrition. It's still going to be about carnivore and keto eating, but it's going to be a little bit different. I want my channel to be completely different than everybody else's. So I kind of put some stuff together, and I want to pay somebody to actually create a professional intro for me and stuff like that, and kind of upgrade my videoing equipment and stuff, trying to take things to the next level. Because once you normally get to about 2,500 to 3,000 subscribers as a YouTuber, most people will start to switch from using, a handheld device like their phone or something like that. Well, I've seen people get up to 10,000 subscribers with a phone, but normally about 2,500 to 3,000 subscribers, you probably should start to invest in better equipment and stuff, and actually editing and things of that nature. I've seen people become very successful after achieving that level of subscribers and then upgrading their equipment. So I'm thinking about doing some more stuff like that as well. Anyhow, that's the update. and I'm not feeling so well. I'm feeling better, but I'm not feeling so well, and I'm gonna go into work today and see how everything goes. And I'm thinking about this Sunday being at a really nice, high-quality steak restaurant or something like that, and doing a review on the food that I eat and the restaurant, and showing you guys where some of the places you can go to get carnivore and keto food are, and what I do when I go out, and just kind of do more of my vlogs on me and what I do than what's going on in the keto space, because honestly, to me, a lot of it seems like nonsense lately. I'm listening to vloggers talk about how they have vitamin deficiencies, and how one guy said he had low vitamin D, and he spent a ton of time in the sun, and he doesn't understand why he has low vitamin D, and he's got to work on his deficiencies and stuff like that. And I'm listening to him talk, and a lot of people look up to this guy, and I'm thinking to myself, you don't even know how to fix these deficiencies. Why would people even listen to you? The way you're fixing them is not even legit. So after I started nitpicking at stuff like that, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do videos and stuff about the regular keto stuff anymore. It's like a lot of these people that have been doing it for a long time, people get attracted to the hustle and bustle and the flashiness of the channel. But when they dig deep down into how they're fixing their deficiencies and the things that are going wrong with them, they don't realize that they're full of crap. They're not even fixing their deficiencies correctly. A low vitamin D3 deficiency has to be fixed with vitamin K2 and fatty sources. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to bring your vitamin D3 up. Just, you can be in the sun up here in the north all the time, and you're never going to get enough sun to fix a vitamin D3 deficiency. You're never going to. You will never fix a vitamin D deficiency from, like, I want to say southern Arkansas and above. You actually being closer to the equator, getting, raw, full sun throughout the day, those people don't have vitamin D problems. But people that are like from, I want to say like northern Louisiana and above, maybe like Louisiana, Tennessee, where everything comes together and above, you're not going to be able to fix any kind of vitamin D deficiency being out in the sun. There's not enough sun that makes impact in these areas, these northern areas, that is going to help you increase vitamin D deficiency. You're going to have to supplement vitamin D3 with a fatty meal, increasing. And then we moved it up to 4,000, and it wasn't increasing. And I started doing my own research, and I started looking into MK7 and regular vitamin K2. And what ended up happening is I just took 100 micrograms of vitamin K2, ate it with a fatty meal, because it's a fat-soluble vitamin, ADEK. A, D, E, and K are all fat-soluble vitamins, which she didn't even recommend taking it with a fatty meal, which you have to eat it with a fatty meal or your body won't utilize it correctly. And I moved it up to 10,000 milligrams a week, which is not unheard of. And I used 100 micrograms of vitamin K2 every time I did it. And my scores went up to almost 48, 49, my next checkup, and now they're in the 50s now. There are certain ways that you have to do this, and even medical providers don't follow the way that you're supposed to fix these deficiencies correctly. And then when I listen to some of these bigger YouTubers and stuff, that they just don't have the knowledge base. They have all the flashy stuff, and they have all the things that people want to hear. They don't have the knowledge base. They blow a lot of smoke up people's backside, and they make them believe a lot of stuff because they got 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 people as their subscribers, but they're not saying anything. They're not fixing the problems. So I just thought about it, and I said, you know what? I don't even want to be part of this typical stuff anymore. I just want to start my own thing, don't even talk about nobody no more in the professional space, any of the events that are happening, unless it's one that I'm putting on myself, and just move on from there, basically. Just do my own thing and just try to make it as enticing and as enjoyable as possible. So that's where I'm at now. Alright guys, I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to try to get something out of today, be somewhat productive, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.